Good morning. Today we're going to build this nice little double-handled Carpenter's toolbox. Got a handle on the bottom, and if you're going to be putting it on the ground and you don't want to reach down, it's got the handle up here. So it's got double handles made out of cedar, box joints, oak handles. And if you'd like to see how we built it, stay tuned, because that's what we're going to do today. Good morning, and welcome to another Memphis Monday 405, our 41st week of year 8. Today we're going to build a Carpenter's toolbox. We've already built some Carpenter toolboxes, and one turned into a stage prop here for our intro. Another one is got turned into a planter for my porch, claimed by my wife. But the one we're going to do today, we're copying from, or at least inspired from, a video I was watching several weeks ago. Sampson Boat Company, Leo, rebuilding a ship called the Tally-Ho. I suspect you watch it, but about halfway through the video there was a tall Carpenter's toolbox there with a real tall handle. Well, I don't want a real tall handle where I can't get it into my pickup, so we're going to do some modifications there. But I think it's going to be a short project. I hope so, because I've been working on another project which I didn't film, and you're going to see why I didn't film it in just a couple of minutes. Pretty proud of it. But so we got a lot to do and a short time to get there. So let's take a drink of coffee, knock off the chit chat, and get to work. This is the project from last week. Remember, we had 8-inch drawers in here, and we cut them in half, and this is now my cabinet for sandpaper, and it's real organized. 220, 180, 150, 220, 180, 60, and 40. So if I keep up with it, this will be really organized, and I really like it. But I liked it so much, let me show you what I did. Okay, there's the sandpaper, and over here was the brads. This is the one we did. We had 2 8-inch drawers in each side for a total of 4. Well, I like that over there so much that I did the same thing to this. Of course, I did it offline because I did the same thing. Cut each of the 8-inch boxes in 2. And now I have all my brads and staples, finished nails, and everything organized. 23 gauge, 18 gauge staples, 16-inch brads, 15 gauge finish nails, corrugated fasteners, points, and I still have a blank drawer. So that's what I've been doing instead of my work at Memphis Monday. That buzzing sound you hear in the background all the time, that's my heating system for this shop. You know, I live in South Carolina, so it doesn't take much. That little space heater heats up the whole building. I wish I lived in Colorado or something where I could have a wood stove and, you know, and all that manly stuff, but, you know, the world isn't perfect. Well, hopefully I've already shown you this at the beginning of the video, the completed project, but if not, here's the concept. It's going to be a cedar box, about 20 by 10, with these 2-foot long handles, real tall handles, but that'd make it too tall to sit in the back of my pickup with the tonneau cover down. So I'm going to make these hinged in the center, so this handle here will fold down, and making it out of cedar so it'll be nice and light. The handle is oak, and I think we're going to make the sides of the box about 3.5 inches. So let's cut some 3.5-inch boards. And then we did that last little deck job. This is what I used as my little carpenter's toolbox. It actually worked pretty good. Just needs to be a little bit bigger, and doesn't look very professional. These, you know, I want something that looks woodworky. And also, when this is on the ground, you know, you got to be a gymnast to reach down and pick it up. I want something with the handle, you know, pretty high. I was doing my setup cuts. Let's see if they work. Nope. Well, I got the setup fixed. Had to add a spacer. These are just about perfect. You want them just to slide in just like that. You don't want them to be too tight. You don't want to force them in, and you don't want any gaps either. So these are coming out just about right. So got our stock. Got our stock here for the sides of our box. I'll put the finger joints, box joints on the ends, and then I'll be cutting a rabbet down the side here to receive the bottom. Okay, so I got the box joints all done. Now I need to put a rabbet on the inside here of the bottom to receive these 1/2-inch boards I milled down. Those will be down in the rabbet, like that. There'll be 3 of them across there. They're not cut down yet. They won't be glued together, but they will be sitting in a rabbet like this. I already got it set up so the board will sit right in that rabbet like that. So this is where the rabbet's going to go, right there, and it's going to look like this. But I don't take any chances on these rabbits. See that black mark? I marked the exact place I want the rabbet, and that's particularly important on these box joints because there's an up and a down on the boards in their vertical position and also their lateral position around here. So you don't want to make sure you put that, you don't get to thinking about something else, put that rabbit in the wrong place. Okay, I got the blade right up against the sacrificial fence, and it's a 1/2 inch tall and a 1/2 inch wide. That'll make that square rabbet. And I'll just run my piece right through there like that. I got it glued up. One of the beauties of these box joints is if you clamp them down towards the corner, you know, on the corners, like I've done, the joints kind of lock in place and they're kind of self-aligning. This thing came out perfectly square, really without me doing anything. After I clamped it up, it was square. So let's let this dry and we can begin to put the bottom in. Well, it's time warp time. I'll let this thing dry. Tell you what I'll do, I'll go ahead and cut the floorboards here, and I'll show you how all that works. Now I'm fixing to show you how the bottom boards are going to go on our box, but I thought an illustration here would clarify it. The boards are cut at about a 35-degree angle here where they meet the center board, and then they're cut at 90s at the sides. Now what this will do is this will support the boards from one to the other, because the angles will be sitting on top of one another. And also, with any expansion of the boards, you won't get a gap. This is similar to the principle of tongue and grooves. So as the boards contract and expand, it won't open up a gap between the boards. You still won't be able to see down through there. So let's go take a look at that. So here's how the boards are going to sit in the bottom. And if I take this end board out, you can see it's got an angle on it. And there's a corresponding there's a corresponding angle on the center board, so that when they're together, they're like that. So even if they expand and contract a little bit, you know, it won't be a problem. Now I'm going to glue these boards in here one at a time. I got my glue set in place for my first board. But I don't want to screw, I'm going to screw these in, but I don't want to get down to the end and find out that I've adjusted this thing out of whack. So while I screw this first board into place, I'll put the other two boards in there to hold it in position. Of course, I'm going to countersink the screws. Okay, I got the bottom in. What I'm doing now is filling in the gap. When I put that dado in for the bottom, or that rabbit in for the bottom, you know, it blows out here at the end. Now what you should do is do a stop dado, but if you're lazy like me, I don't go to all that trouble. I just put little plugs in these holes, squirt a little glue in there, and stick my plug in. And then saw it off. Now you can see that once I sand that off, you know, it won't even be noticeable. I got those plugs in there. You can see that it just looks like another box joint. Actually, it looks better than my other box joint. It's one on the other side. See, it just looks like another box joint. I also installed this metal brace on the inside. My theory is, over time, you know, I don't want these boards to get loose, and also I want them to be able to carry unlimited weight. Those just go into the fitting I made. I countersunk the screws. Forgot to put this screw in. All right, so let's start thinking about the handles. Well, I'm installing the handles. I'm bolting them on with lag screw with bolts here, carriage bolts. No nails and no glue. I tell you what, let me finish tighten this thing down and I'll show you what we got going. Well, here's our little plan we came up with a few minutes ago, and the changes we've made so far. We didn't anticipate this second handle here. We're going to install a second handle right here in the middle. And then the top handle will rotate around that bottom handle. We also installed that steel bracket in here. And we installed, instead of having a solid exterior plywood bottom, we used solid wood, and we cut it at an angle, remember, so that it would never show any light through. Let's take a look at what we got so far. Here's the rig I came up with on the handle. I wanted, the original plan was to hinge the handle here with just carriage bolts, and that would simplify, you know, keeping the top handle up. But if I just use carriage bolts there, then there wouldn't be a bottom handle. So I like this idea of having a small handle, and then you lift it up, and I have these little pins. These little pins on a lanyard that go in these pinholes, and that locks the top handle. Okay, let me, I think I'll put a little finish on it and we'll take a look at it. Well, here's our project for Memphis Monday 405. We built this double-handled Carpenter's toolbox. It's got box joints. It's made from cedar. We got solid pine boards in the bottom, cut with scarf joints. Got a metal brace, oak handles, and it's a double handle deal. You can pick it up from the top handle, but if you need a shorter handle, it's got these little pins on lanyards that slide into holes to keep the thing upright. But if you need a shorter handle, then you got the shorter handle. Overall, I'm very satisfied. Well, that does it for another Memphis Monday 405. Today we built the Carpenter's toolbox. We kind of got inspired by one I saw in the Sampson Boat Club. Check out that channel if you're not already watching it. Almost everybody I know watches it, so you're probably pretty familiar with it. Also in the comments, if I've never invented anything in my life. Every time I invent something, I find out it's already been invented. But I've never seen any toolbox with double handles like that. Put down in the comments if you've ever seen a Carpenter's toolbox built that way, because it'd be really exciting if we'd actually invent something. Anyway, I'm prouder of the thing than probably I ought to be. I think it looks good, and I think it's going to be really functional. So, and that's the bottom line, right? All right, like, favorite, share, comment, and all the stuff you do on the internet. But most important, make sure you're back here next week for another exciting Memphis Monday. Thanks for playing along.